Our movie begins with two lovers who are at the sea, happy and enjoying their time. Suddenly, the sea starts to shake, and a fissure opens beneath the water, emitting a blue light that rises to the surface. All of this happens while they are in another world. The man was holding an engagement ring and is about to propose as a surprise, and she is about to say yes. He gets pulled under and becomes invisible. The woman becomes anxious and keeps looking at him. Suddenly, she sees his corpse with blood oozing out of it. A monstrous face appears behind her, a zombie-like creature named Alpha. He attacks her, and she runs to her lover. In another location, we see Hans with his friend Ram and his sister's daughter named Jida. They are fishing and enjoying the beautiful weather. At that moment, they see a boat on fire. Hans tells them to come and help, and they quickly head towards them. Hans puts out the fire and learns that it was caused by rockets and fireworks. He takes them from the boat and gives them to the trip supervisor. We see a man named Marty standing with a binocular, looking at the blue light. We return to Hans and his friends as they continue their journey and fishing. The fishing net gets caught on something heavy. They think it's a big fish. After struggling and exhausting themselves, a blue corpse surfaces. They had a device that detects the depths of the sea, and they saw the blue light underwater, which surprised them greatly. Hans quickly goes to inform the authorities. Jida brought a cover and covered the corpse. While they are standing, they see the blue light above the water, and they also realize that the corpse is no longer in its place. It turns out that the corpse was a zombie, and it attacks Jida and bites her. Ram quickly comes to her rescue and pulls her away. Hans grabs a sword, curses, and throws it into the water. We see Hans talking to his wife, Kenzie, because she is a doctor. He asks her to come to catch up with Jida. At that time, she was at a party with her friends and left with their daughter, Maya, who was with her friends. They agreed to meet again at night. We return to Kenzie and Ram as they are going to the hospital with Jida. Ram was sitting with her, and the doctors are examining her. However, Hans went to Officer Conan to tell him what happened and asked him to investigate the matter. At that moment, they took Hans's boat and went to the place where the corpse surfaced. They saw the blue light clearly on the water's surface. Hans wanted to know more about this light, so he sent a camera underwater to find its source. They saw the wreckage of a very old and unmarked ship with a mysterious fissure emitting light. They saw a strange creature swimming next to the ship. Hans told Conan that the creature they saw was a zombie, but Conan didn't believe him and laughed at his story. At the same time, the zombies emerged on the water's surface, coming towards them. When Conan saw them, he believed Hans and realized the situation was serious, retreating from their appearance. Hans quickly called Kenzie and told her that Jida is in danger and they need to isolate her immediately. They activated the alarm sirens and informed the residents through microphones that they must evacuate the city immediately due to an incoming tsunami that would flood the entire city. People on the shore noticed that the water level was decreasing and receding in a strange manner. While Hans was returning by boat to help people, a very high wave full of zombies came out of the sea towards the city. The water reached the shore, and everyone started running in fear. The zombies arrived on the beach, and Hans and Conan arrived as well. Conan shot them with bullets, and Hans told him to come with him to warn the people. They went to Kenzie, who told Ram that all the staff had left the place, and only they remained at the hospital with Jida. We return to Conan and Hans as they walk along the shore to warn the people but couldn't keep up with the zombies that the water had pushed back. The zombies were rising to fulfill their duty, biting people, and more were still emerging from the water towards the shore. The catastrophe was escalating as the number of transformed zombies increased. Hans and Conan walked to kill and butcher the zombies with axes. There was a group hiding behind a boat. They turned on the motor, and after it started, the zombies roared and fled. We go to Maya and her friends as they are on the rooftop of a building alone, talking to their families, but the town is in chaos, and no one is responding. We return to Jida as she is dying, and her vitals have stopped. However, she transforms into a zombie and attacks Ram. He bites her away to prevent her from biting others. A doctor enters, she leaves Ram and approaches the doctor. Ram tries to run and escapes quickly. We return to Conan and Hans as they are fighting zombies, but the numbers are increasing, and the dead are rising while the injured are transforming. The night is very dark. They decide to escape no matter what and seek help. They boarded a car where someone was hiding, and when they honked, people panicked and the fireworks crew appeared. They were too scared to come out of the car. They told them to come along. We see a man who they don't know, who is with a binocular and was heading towards the zombies with his knife. We return to Kenzie as she is terrified because Jida has finished all the hospital staff and is running after them. Ram opened the door and pulled her inside quickly. Jida opens the door, wanting to bring them in as all the staff had transformed and helped her. They couldn't resist and left the door, Running with Kenzie and Conan, they saw zombies on wheelchairs, and Jida didn't leave them and kept following them. We see Conan and Hans arriving at the police station, where they found more zombies than those left on the shore. To the extent that Lin attacked his girlfriend to eat her and tried to escape. No, a man, come on. They entered the station and locked the zombies inside, but the zombies overwhelmed the doors. Hans teased Lin about his girlfriend. Lin didn't like what was said and took a gun from the officers, threatening them. He wanted to take weapons from the armory, but when the officer refused, he shot at him and killed him. However, Hans hit Lin with something, causing him to fall. We go to Maya and her friends as they exited the building and ran into the street, wanting to find a safe place away from the zombies. However, they kept dreaming of encountering zombies directly. More zombies attacked them. Maya and her friends ran to a market to hide, but found many zombies inside. One of the young men stumbled, injured his leg, and Maya went back to help him walk with them. Another was caught by zombies, causing the kids to panic and scatter. Sam was supporting her colleague as they walked, and their friend ran away. We see Conan asking for help, but no one responds. He then saw an envelope labeled drug manufacturing. He took the envelope and shredded the paper before Hans noticed. At that time, Hans opened the computer and accessed the ship registry, finding information about the sunken ship. It was noted that the manufacturing was cancelled, and the company had destroyed the ship, hiding its wreckage and losing any information that could incriminate the company. At the same moment, zombies broke the windows. Hans and Conan opened the armory, and each chose a weapon. Hans took a sharp sword to butcher them immediately. Lin was tied up with his shoelaces, and he asked someone to untie him. They left the station, and as soon as they opened the door, a large group of zombies attacked them. Hans took out a bazooka and shot them in front, knocking them to the ground. However, another tsunami wave full of zombies was coming. As they got into the car and drove, a massive alpha zombie stood in front of them. They ran over it at full speed, but it stood up as if nothing had happened. We returned to Maya and her friend as they walked, with zombies behind them. They found an abandoned bus, boarded it, and the owner inside was listening to music, unaware of anything. He got out, saw the zombies, and tried to fight them with his weapon. But unfortunately, he was bitten. All the zombies gathered on him, and Maya tried to start the bus, but it was broken. We see a girl named Lena running towards the forest with zombies chasing her. She saw a house ahead, ran to it, and Marty, the homeowner, saw her through the surveillance camera. He is the man they don't know, the one with the binoculars. He had a zombie tied to his bed and wanted to experiment on it. Lena arrived at the house, and Marty told her he wouldn't open the door unless she showed her face from behind and proved she was safe. She turned her face, and he opened the door as she entered quickly. The zombies were standing outside the door. As Lena entered, she took a phone and called her father, revealing that she is Conan's daughter. She told him not to worry because she would stay with Marty at the house, but to go and get Maya from the market. We return to the station and see Lin trying to reach the officer he shot, taking the keys from him. He went out and saw his girlfriend being attacked by zombies. He went to hug her, but she deserved it because she was weak and cowardly. We go to Maya and see her friend saying, "I stopped your movement because my leg hurts. Let me go," and he opened the door and started singing on the bus's back to attract zombies while she was escaping. Indeed, everyone wanted her, and she ran quickly. At that moment, Conan and Hans arrived in the car and shot at the zombies. They took her and went to the hospital. They entered and locked the door, trying to call Kenzie, who wasn't responding. Maya took Hans's weapon and ran down a corridor, speaking into the hospital's microphone. She told her mother she was waiting for her on the second floor. The loudspeakers and sound caused the zombies to gather and come out of all the rooms. Conan and Hans shot them with pistols and fire extinguishers. At that moment, the phone line got tangled around Maya's leg, and zombies outside were pulling the wire and dragging her. A zombie broke the door with its head, and Maya cut off its head with her weapon. Hans also pulled two wires and electrified the zombies, causing them to die as the electricity connected them together. Kenzie and Rem were inside the elevator and saw them. Kenzie hugged Maya. A man approached them, grabbed, and imprisoned them. Kenzie told them that the first group of zombies was different from those that came with the second wave and those who were bitten. She realized that these were people who had been experimented on. As they were leaving, someone grabbed Hans and killed him with his weapon. They got into the car and went to Marty's house to check on Lena. However, his hand was injured, and Marty was worried. Conan told him, "This is my injury. No one bit me, don't worry." They all entered the house. Conan called the cordless phone, requesting support, but Marty told them the device was broken. Lena said, "Twice tsunamis and zombies, and no one warned us or came to rescue us. What is this conspiracy?" At that moment, The zombies below managed to free themselves and made a loud scary noise. Conan went down to see what was happening and found the room empty. The zombie attacked him, biting him. Conan screamed in pain and pushed the zombie away. The zombie shouted, shaking the place, and everyone ran to see Conan. However, the zombie stood on the stairs in front of Kenzie. Marty pushed him away and then shot him with a taser gun, killing him. Afterwards, they took Conan to be treated. Hans connected his weapon with electricity to have a deadly weapon after discovering that electricity kills them. We see Marty telling them that he brought zombies to the house to experiment on them and find their weaknesses. He said he found their bodies full of glowing phosphorus, which is why they emit light underwater. Electricity is the only thing that kills them. Hans suggested, let's lure all the zombies into the water, electrify the water, kill them all, and destroy the shipwreck that emits the radioactive C4 material, which produces these monsters. Marty said, I have a large amount of bombs. Hans went outside and saw a zombie at the door trying to activate his stun gun, which didn't work. The zombies opened the door and entered. Kenzie came to help Hans, turned on a woodcutting machine, and they started throwing zombies into it, making a loud noise and killing some of them. Kenzie said to Hans, if anything happens to me, take care of Maya. As they walked, Conan felt very tired and decided to stop to rest. At that time, Martin told them that the bite was far from his brain, and the infection takes time to reach it. When Conan felt he was dying, he confessed the truth and said that 30 years ago, a pharmaceutical company came to the shore with a drug experimenting on fighting aging. The experiment was on a ship to avoid government and regulatory oversight, and they bribed everyone to keep it secret. Even the local council took bribes to experiment here, and he agreed because they promised to find a cure for his wife, but unfortunately, she died. He realized that the drug was not ready for human use and had dangerous side effects. To cover up, the company killed the employees and patients by sinking the ship, removed the company's logo, and destroyed any evidence incriminating them. Kenzie told them that the experiment was meant to produce a certain type of humans to be deadly weapons. After that, the zombies attacked them. Hans activated his weapon, electrifying them and killing them all. Lena said goodbye to Conan because he died and placed a bomb in his hand to explode along with the remaining zombies. They all left the cave, and Conan emerged as a zombie. The bomb exploded, sealing the zombies inside the cave. Afterward, everyone reached the shore and separated to gather the zombies as planned. Martin said he left some C4 material at his house and had a device to blow up the shipwreck. Ram, Martin, and Lena boarded a boat to explode the shipwreck. Marty quickly connected the wires and the C4 explosive material, and Lena urged them to hurry because the zombies were coming. Hans took some wires, connected them to the water, and Kenzie and Maya stood by the electric box, waiting for the moment to activate it. At that moment, Hans rode a motorcycle and played loud music to attract the zombies towards the shore. Marty jumped into the water to set the explosives but was surrounded by zombies. Ram tried to help him, but the zombies climbed onto the boat. Ram pushed them away and looked at Martin, who didn't follow. Hans's motorcycle got stuck in the sand. He got off and walked on his leg. At that moment, he encountered the massive Alpha zombie. Alpha strangled Hans and threw him to the ground. Hans tried to activate his electric weapon, but it didn't work, so he hit Alpha with his sword. Alpha grabbed both of his hands and was about to bite him on the neck. Hans pushed back and kicked him away. At that moment, Kenzie arrived and turned on the music, and the motorcycle emerged from the sand. The sound attracted all the zombies towards the water. Hans was still fighting Alpha and wanted to pull him into the water with his siblings. Alpha strangled Hans and grabbed his neck. Hans drew his knife and cut off Alpha's hand with it. At the same time, on the boat, Lena shot the zombies trying to come out. Ram told her to take a life jacket and escape, and she jumped into the water. We returned to Hans as he was strangling Alpha and went to get his weapon, but this time the stun gun worked. Hans cut off the zombie's head with it and threw it into the water. At that moment, Maya activated the electric cabin, electrifying all the zombies in the water. Ram bid farewell to Hans and activated the explosives, dying in the explosion. At that time, a tsunami wave was approaching and getting closer to the shore. Hans had to escape quickly before it arrived. As he was running, he encountered Len, now a zombie. Hans told her, "Where have you been?" and shocked her with his electric weapon. Hans ran with Kenzie and Maya and climbed out of the water. The family reunited once again.